Hello YouTube. Finally I got my parts in for the HG P402. It was clicking as it would come up to a rock or a branch or something, and it had any kind of pressure on the differential at all, you hear a clicking noise. So upon initial evaluation, I noticed that the gears, and of course these gears, you know, this stuff comes out of China, so it's probably not the best gears out there. But I noticed they were rounded a little bit. So I went ahead and ordered some more, and of course you've got to order them. Actually, I got the vehicle from Gearbest, so you go on the Gearbest website and you see they don't have a lot of parts for these things. But banggood.com, which sells the same truck, has a lot more parts than Gearbest does. So between the two companies, I managed to order in the right parts. It just took forever to get them here. Well, they're here. You know, the balance of them came in today, so we're going to go ahead and open the differential. I'm going to show you how we change the gears in here, and I'm hoping that that was the problem and it's going to take care of the problem. And if that's the case, you know, my recommendations are to order a few more sets. They're really inexpensive. You just have to be patient trying to get them here. So you have them on hand. The repair is just super simple. I mean, the differential comes off these rigs very easily. And it's really not complicated inside the differential. So we're going to go ahead and open up. This is actually the back, the rear. I opened up the front already, and I did the front, and I wanted to do that first just to make sure all the parts fit and it went smoothly, so when I do the rear on camera, it'll go a little bit smoother. So I've got all my parts laid out. I've got the little hex bits that I'm going to need to work on this. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. And I went ahead and I put a couple screws back in the differential just to kind of hold it together while I waited for parts to come in. So split the case here. And the rear is basically the same as the front. You got an axle gear, and you know, they fit in like a square and it locks in there. And then you got this gear, and then the small gear which actually goes out to the drive lines. So if you need a closer look, let's see if I can't get up here and get it. It's hard looking through the monitor to try to get a view of this without messing things up. There we go. So I'll do my best to keep my hands out of the way, but forgive me, sometimes I forget the video's running or the camera's running and I can't, you know, my hands block it. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this one out here. Actually, we'll pop this one out. Like so. This one just comes out. So, being it's the HG P402 model, you have to use the I want to make sure we get the right one here. We're going to be replacing these two parts. It is the H010003, and that's the 13 tooth. I bought a 15 also, thinking that I could change the gearing a little bit and it might make it a little slower, a little more grippy, but it didn't work. It just bound up in there. So you have to use the 13 tooth. And for this combo gear, which goes to the axle main gear, then down to the drive gear, it is the, of course it's not going to give me a part number, which is no fun. I will put it up on the description down below the video, and I don't remember the part number right off the top of my head. So, oh, here it is. I'm sorry. It's H01001. So we'll go ahead and open these up and get them out. Here we are. So this is the first one. It's just gonna slide right off. And we're gonna go ahead and clean that up, clean the bearing up on there. And I always put blue grease or waterproof grease. This is what I use. Depending where you are in the country, maybe something different. But I just go ahead and I'm just gonna coat everything really well with the blue grease. It's a messy job. Now my last one didn't go in very well, and I can see this one's gonna be the same way. So what I did, I got a little piece of wood. Put the gear right there. Take the little shaft. Not sure if you can see that. There it is, and I just went ahead and I just tapped it down in there. There's some burrs on it. Once it goes through, it pushes through pretty easily. There it goes. And you just push it right down till it seats. And we'll just go ahead and apply some of that blue grease all the way around. Get my differential back here. We'll stick that in. I'm going to go ahead and stick some blue grease down in the hole for the bearing down in there. There we go. Now for this one, we have to use a 1.5 hex head, little hex head, Allen wrench head, or whatever you want to call it. And right up on top, right there, there's an Allen screw head. You just got to unscrew that so get a good grip. Hang on to the gear. And out it comes. See if you can see that. There's a little washer there also. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this. There we go. And right here, pull the screw off. Right here is the little washer. There it is. There's a screw in our washer right there. And we'll pop that gear out of the way. Grab my new one. Upon examination, you know, it looks like it's a little flattened out, but it's really hard to tell. Let's go ahead and we'll slide this new one in here. A little grease. Washer on. And we'll go ahead and get that set back in there. Nice little snug. All right. I'll go ahead and grease these up. And we'll slide it back in. I'm going to go ahead and put a good amount on these gears here. And you see it kind of fits into a groove, into their own grooves, but you notice there's a washer right here. That washer needs to stay up against the back of those gears, and just slide your bushings in and slide them into their proper slots. And that pretty much does it. We'll go ahead and put a couple gobs of grease on here. I don't particularly care for the grease that came with it. We want to make sure that they're covered fairly well. All right. Make sure you got plenty of paper towels. Hands are gonna get greasy. And with that, I'll remove all the golden retriever hair that's stuck in the grease. Just turn it over. Pop it on. And we'll give it a few twists here. pretty good. All right, we can start putting our screws back in. Change that back to a 2. And I'll go ahead and fast forward through this part here. Everybody knows how to put screws back in. Just remember, when you're putting these screws into the plastic, it strips really easy. Just set them real lightly. And it looks like will probably be the same as the front, and the 2 aggressive threads. They're not machined. They're a little more of a coarse thread. They go into the front of the differential. Start getting it on the truck. We'll go ahead and expand back out here. So the first thing we want to do, and the easiest thing to do, is to slide that little screw in, machine screw, and put on your 3-point. And then we want to put on our front link. I'm going to do the right side. It's important to put these on before you put the shocks on, or you won't be able to get these 2 screws in. Okay, now for the shocks, they kind of go right. It goes into the little hole right here on the opposite side of the screw. Yeah, you know, these little caps just snap on the front. We'll go ahead and put our pin in the axle. Put our nut on. 12mm mounting nut. Same the other side. And we'll get a couple tires. Okay, that's the rear. Now the front, like I said, is already put together, but I did not, the servo actually moves, so you've got to center the servo before you put the arm on. Got to make sure your tires are straight. And we'll just throw a battery on here. Turn on the transmitter. Plug it in, we'll turn it on, and as soon as you power it up, their servo automatically centers. And we just want to put the control horn. Bingo. You know, I really hate the way this servo's set up, and the angle, this steep angle going from the steering linkage to the servo. Boy, it's really at a harsh angle, and I think that's contributing to not a very good turn radius with this vehicle, because the turn radius just blows. So that's something I'm going to be working on in the future. I really dislike the tires that came with the unit. So I happen happened to go to eBay and found a couple, or a set of new tires, 1.9s, that I feel are going to do a lot better. The ones that came with it, the stock ones, you know, they just didn't do nothing when it comes to rocks, slippery rocks especially, but rocks in general. And here they are. So you can see I got a different kind of tread design. We're going to see if we can, hopefully that works better. One other thing we got to do is we need to put on the rear axle. Take a quick check, make sure everything's on, looks good, nice and tight. Wonderful. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off. I'll put the battery on and I'll give it for a test drive, and we'll put a little pressure on the wheels and see if we have any more clicking in the differentials. I'll be back with you real soon.